Okay.
So, hi. I'm here
Hi.
with Tania, the lovely Tania, who's going to be joining us on the Healing the Motherline retreat in Devon in April. And I just wanted to have this little chat with you, Tania, just to tell my audience, our audience, a little bit more about yourself, what you do, what you offer, and who you are, really. So I'm really excited to do this with you. So I mean, let's just start with, how have you come to be doing what you do today, which is the ancestral healing?
Okay. I've always been interested in alternative ways of doing things, shall I say. Over the years, I've delved into various spiritual practices, which I have used within my own business. I've been practicing for 14, 15 years now, predominantly gearing my services, if you like, towards women. And then a few years ago, I went to do a course with a lady who I've worked with before, who taught me womb healing. And she put it out there that she was going to be doing another course. And I put my hand up straight away. I went, I'll be on it. Not really knowing what I was signing up for at the time. And I don't think she did really, to be honest. It was her beta test of this particular program she was putting together. And I ended up sitting in her lovely cabin in Essex. There was four of us all together. And between four of us, we actually helped create her course. Um, but one of the elements, because I had no idea what I was signing up for. So one of the elements we were doing was actually some family constellation work and digging into our entangled roots and how our sort of ancestral traumas and things kind of travel down through our DNA. And everybody else had actually done all their work, but we were running out of time, and it was suggested that I would be doing mine the next day. So we'd gone out for dinner, and we're sitting there out for dinner, and I'm getting this predominant neck pain on my right hand side, to the extent where I literally couldn't turn my neck. And I'm trying to like talk to the girls, and I'm having to physically turn around and talk to them. And it was just like, they usually wake up and you've got that crick in your neck. That's exactly what I had.
Yeah.
Got up early the next day, and I sat there journaling, because I kept saying to myself, I don't know who I need to address any of this information with, because I've done a lot of work with my father, and I kept saying, I've done all my work, I've done all that, I've done all that. And then the penny dropped, and I realized that actually I needed to bring in some ancestors that were further down the line. So I needed to bring in my great grandfather. And along with a couple of other family relatives they don't necessarily have to have passed over. They can still be earthside, if you like. But I was basically going to bring a combination of some family members into this space, and we were energetically going to be working with the energies of these people. And as the whole thing was evolving on that particular day, not only did I notice obviously the big energy shift, but actually the neck pain disappeared, which was quite bizarre. So I don't know if you know anything about the left and the right sides, but basically your left side is your feminine side of you, and your right side is your masculine side. That was quite interesting, the fact that actually a lot of the way that I show up in the world has been impacted by my paternal side of things, which was quite interesting. So how I show up, lack of confidence, repeating patterns. For me, I've done so many repeating patterns in terms of getting involved in a lot of toxic relationships. I felt I needed that need of validation all the time. So I'd seek somebody who I thought would give me that validation, and actually they themselves were actually a very toxic person. So actually it flipped around in a totally different way. But I didn't realize that I had any of this before I went off to do this particular course. And actually what was really interesting was the huge energy shift and the way that I started to show up after I'd done all this work. Um, so yeah, I mean that's basically how I got into the ancestral healing, was literally my own personal experience.
Yeah. I really want to know what is the shift for you? How do you show up? I mean, obviously, it's always a progressive journey, isn't it? All
Yeah,
of this,
yeah.
we go backwards, we come forwards. But what difference have you noted for yourself since you've done that?
Right. Okay. So I 100% certain who I am, what it is that I do, and how I can show up in the world. The confidence levels is just, there's none of this, particularly when we're in business, we often have that imposter syndrome sitting, bubbling under the surface, where we watch other people and we go, oh, they're really good. I don't know if I'm as good as those. And actually, I've really noticed that that is just practically non-existent now. And which has been really interesting because actually, I spent a lot of time signing up for all these free things because other coaches were doing all these things. I'm like, oh, I need to see what they're doing. But actually, that also stopped as well. That need to have to constantly improve myself because actually I have all the tools.
Mm,
I have it within me to do what I do for me, but actually to help others. I don't need to go and keep dropping in to do all these courses to do what? Because I've already done the work.
yeah,
It might
yeah,
be with a different coach, but I've already done the work. So, that's what I've really noticed is the fact that my confidence is just through the roof.
yeah. I mean, that's so good, isn't it? And I think that's so much of what a lot of our participants are going to be looking for is that confidence to release those old messages, to release
Mm,
those ancestral lines,
yeah.
and to step into what I'm hearing is like stepping into freedom. And,
Yeah.
the other bit that I'm really thinking about is that compare and despair, and
Mm,
I get that, just I've got to check out what they're doing. But
yeah.
it's about what you're doing and who we are as people and just being authentically ourselves
That's
is
it. And I think that's the biggest thing is that it's giving myself that it was giving myself that permission to be me.
yeah,
I didn't need to go and seek the validation from anybody else.
yeah, fantastic. And I'm going to end it on that because otherwise we're going to go on for ages. But yeah, we'll chat again. So
Okay, thank
yeah,
you.
thank you. Wonderful. Looking forward to working with you.
Ah, and you too.